Is this thing on? It's my first time ever going live. I have no idea what I'm doing here. I don't even see a chat. I'm gonna have to pull this stream up on my phone. My little chat box just says something went wrong. It's just a monkey with a hammer. Jeez. Yeah, watch my own ad. I'm gonna have to change that. Skip my own ads. Oh, I can see that now. Let me turn this down. All right, I see the chat here. Do I sound okay? Too loud? Yeah, my anxiety is like through the roof right now. Trying to set this up. I see why people use outside software, because the YouTube kind of sucks. All right, so chat, I have no idea what's going on my screen here. So like I said, I got my phone, but the good thing is I can look at my phone from like way over there. So this video really truly, we'll show you a little bit of the DDM, but I'm hoping there's a nerd out people here to kind of go over the testing plan for the DDM for the video, because I'm not going to make 4 different videos about this product. I'm going to make one. If there is a second, it's pre-production versus production, if there's a big difference. Maxflow has not gotten back with me on whether or not there's a firmware difference between my current pre-production unit and the production unit. Don't know. They also have said it's okay. I mean, Josh has already made like 3 videos already on it. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a long video, guys, but I'm going to try to do a lot off camera, because we still got a little bit to go before this launches, right? I got this for a good little bit before that happens. So I can do a lot off camera. Dilution ratios of foam cannons. I know AMI Detail had reached out to me and gave me some, I don't know if requests. Fu gave me some requests. A bunch of people asked for stuff. And I just want to kind of go over that. And then, like I said, we can show you the DDM in action. It's actually like, could it replace the 630? There's a very good possibility of that for sure. But I'm apologizing for having to look off screen, because the chat is right here. So, all right, guys. So what do you want to see? Yeah, that's Corey. That's how much of this is going to be trolling and how much of this is going to be actual real information here. Just let me know. What the testing plan that I'm thinking is I'm going to test every nozzle size from 2 to 7. I don't know if I'll step it by halves, but we can at least go 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. And 15 amp and 20 amp. On camera, a few select nozzles. Go to a screen with, a chart or something that has all of it, right? Same with foam cannons. Run it with a 1.1. Run it in 15 amp, 20 amp, 1.25, 135, and so on. Not necessarily have to do all of it on the screen when it comes to finding out the dilution ratios that those specific orifices at different levels are. So I know a lot of you this may be too nerdy out for you guys, but we'll try to entertain a little bit here. Dual DDMs. Oh my God, no way. My wrist, and when I was a teenager, my wrist would have been strong enough for that, but not anymore. All right, see. No, I mean, we'll share information on this. I mean, this live is only going to probably go out to just like 50 people or 100 people. Israel, I mean, I don't care. I'm not going to go through a crazy amount because it'll just mist out the whole garage unless I hook it up to my bucket, and then we can shoot it into the bucket and it won't mist up the whole place. 20 amp circuit, max rinse flow. Yeah, I mean, you don't even have to turn it down for the DI rinse. I've noticed that depending on what nozzle you use, like if you use a 5.0 nozzle versus the 6.0 that goes with it, 5.0, I can get 1000 at 2.5, which I really like. Like 800 at 3, I like 950, 1000 at 2.5 personally. And you just hit 15 amp and it drops to like 2.2 or 2.3. So you can go straight. You don't even have to dial the dial down. You just got to go straight from 20 amp to 15 amp. Samuel, I don't know what sprayer I'm getting. I definitely want to replace the current Ryobi that I'm using because it's kind of hard to show a product in a video and people ask you questions about it and it's not available to buy. I mean, it's an old school Ryobi. It's the way it should be now, and they should never have changed it. But Flowzone or the Amazon copy of it, I think it's called like Cyclone or something. I can't remember. That's another thing that if you're asking about mobile, that's one thing I want to test is generator. I don't have a battery supply one to test like a Delta Pro or anything, but I have a what is it, like a 2500 and a 4500 5000 generator, both of them to test, see how it works. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm not going to go changing the wires to like the 125 volt RV plugs or anything like that, but at least to see the load that it does on the generator. Oh, for sure. I'm using 15 amp plug adapter right now. That's the only way that I can use my little amp meter. I use it all the time for my AR630 and everything else. I use that same plug adapter, no problem. If there's a decibel difference between the two, oh, there's noticeable difference between the, not noticeable. The decibels on this are far less than I thought though. Like they said 80 decibels, but that's from like 1 foot. I was like at 75 dB from 5 or 6 feet. And that's with the hose and that's with the sprayer not being muffled. That was with the sprayer sound in there. Boy, I wish I get this stupid chat to work on the screen here, but oh well. Here, let's see. Well, you can't see it because it's on my screen here. It's just a monkey with a hammer. Come on, chat. There we go. So I can stop crying. Listen, I personally don't want to run my foam cannon at 3 GPM because it dilutes, it adjusts your PIR. It, the foam, like if you foam at 2.2 gallons per minute, foam at 2.5, 2.8, the foam may still be the same, but your dilution each time is being reduced, right? At some point, the soap draw is like, if the pressure is the same, the soap draw is not going to change really. The more flow you have, the more soap you need. And I don't want to use any more soap unless it's this soap. I don't mind wasting Matt's soap. He sent that to me. So, but you look at this. The guy sent me this bottle and didn't sign it or number it, but he put that label on there. I think it's quieter than the M Pro 25 or right about the same. There's not as much like pitchy noise going off, and the ramp down is only like 2 or 3 seconds. It does have a ramp up though. It's like half a second maybe. Well, I'll show you here in a minute. We can show you guys some stuff. Maxflow continues a cycle. If I take the nozzle off to fill up my foam cannon, so I have to put a nozzle on and pull the trigger so the continuous cycle starts. Oh, Maybe it's a pressurizing issue because, it doesn't have an actual pressure switch. It's software and stuff that's far smarter than I have no idea how it works. How's this compared to Active 3.0 for performance versus price versus noise? The 3.0 is pretty quiet. I mean, it's not bad. One thing I'm noticing, so the 630 is decibel wise is quieter. The 2.3 was kind of loud, but it vibrated the walls. So we switched to the 630. But even then, my son was washing his car here the other day, and I heard it in the kitchen. And I'm like, is this what it sounds like? And everybody's like, yeah. And like the vibration on the shelf carries through the wall. It's not like loud, but it's a vibration. This DDM, I don't think it's going to have that kind of vibration. We'll compare it to the other ones. I mean, I won't compare it. Like I won't put the 635 in the video, the 3.0, but I'll compare my thoughts on it. I am not a Hex member. They just reached out. I mean, I know Matt. Matt's a friend. I'm trying to get used to these dealing with the chat. I usually just deal with comments after the fact. It does not do the old man fart. Nope. Have you ever drilled a hole in a gun to make? I mean, literally, you can do it. It's not. It'll work. That's a good idea. Because if I was to ever do a trigger lock, that's the kind of trigger lock I would do. But from a liability standpoint, I don't know if I really make a video showing how to do that. There's a reason a lot of companies and brands will not put a trigger lock on a gun. There's liability insurance won't even let some of them even like do it. That's why Josh did the hole, because it's not considered a trigger lock, right? From a naming perspective. You have the occasional detailer gun. You have the slightly less good swivel with a whole bunch of lubricant squeezed in there. Juice is in here. This is true. Real pressure washers will cut your finger off for sure. I know a couple guys with rigs, they're running 8 to 10 gallons per minute. Like crazy with multiple thousand PSI. Josh's new wand and swivel. Yeah, I got it right here. So let's just say that the swivel is too good because it moves freely while you move the gun. It does this. So it's definitely a two-handed operation versus a one-handed operation, because a two-handed operation you can control the swivel. This is the swivel right here. I will say, Josh, the swivel, if I can show up to the camera here, the swivel is just like a lot of the newer guns. It's built into, golly, I can't even do this right. It's built in. It's just the quick connect. But whoever built it put the Quiver logo here on this one. Can I even orientate right there? It's not in line. And then the Quiver logo on the quick connect is way over here. So when it's like this, you don't even see the logo. The logos aren't lined up. Best pressure washer for gravity feeding. I would think any pressure washer that could take the gravity feed that you're sending to it, as long as it meets, I mean, obviously gravity feed doesn't have as much pressure as an inline water hose. Ava would be Kranzla, something like that has the ability to siphon, which would supplement the chance of pressure. Active even says that their pressure washers work with gravity feed. But like I said, I don't, if that's why they'll say like, hey, if you have 2 GPM, you need 4. I think they're really trying to just make sure people with gravity feed are supplying enough water to make up for the pressure. But I don't know a ton about the mobile setups and stuff like that. Just kind of, guessing here. I mean, that the wand is just, I mean, describe to me like how any wand is not generic. I It's a piece of stainless steel tubing with a place to put your hand, a quick connect at both ends. Like, how do you not make it look generic? Like, you could use titanium, like to get that look. But for me, this is a detailing tool that is just literally it is what it is. Like, there's no features. Like, it's just adding the swivel. I don't know how well it is, but I mean, people add a rubber nozzle guard. I mean, there is not like from a manufacturing process. I don't. What can you do different? Yeah, Bobby Chemex. Yeah, yeah. I can't afford that kind of stuff. Whether a pressure washer can delect the bullet, it won't. No, probably not. Jeff was telling me that before you didn't like. If you take it apart, you can modify that. Yeah, he's telling me about that. He was telling me that there's probably inside the box, there's a timer in there for like the ramp up, ramp down, or whatever it is with that box. But I wasn't about to go tearing it apart because it just didn't interest me. Yeah, for sure, you can use it to clean a driveway. It's not the best angle for cleaning the driveway though. Like I like prefer straight for that. Starship Troopers theme. That's one of my favorite movies. Cult classic. I mean, yeah, Chingy, that's what you can do. I mean, that's what they're starting to do now. They make guns that are nickel plated internals and say it's stainless steel construction to make you think the whole thing is stainless steel, but it's not. But yeah, could we like heat this up and get this to change colors? Because stainless steel will change colors if you heat it up. It'll turn a bronzish color, uh, and then you could have it a burnt color. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Israel. You know, because if you're holding it this way, or you're doing any other angle, like if this isn't round, then you can orientate it, but your orientation is off. I guess is what you're trying to. Is that what you're trying to talk about? The ovalness of this versus this being round. So it is. So really, truly, it is just a zinc plated steel valve body because it's not magnetic. Interesting. Here, let me grab it real quick. I had already put this away to give to the Pay It Forward campaign. I wasn't going to touch it again. Let's see here. This is the gun I use. Everybody knows this. Israel. This is actually, I don't know if this is one of the ones you sent me or not. This is an MB925 with the insides of a Citamil V2, and it's good. Let me grab a screwdriver real quick. I just want anybody who's joined recently. The reason I'm looking down like this constantly is because the chat is not working on my YouTube thing here. I'm having to look at my phone. So you're saying it's a did they say that in a live that it was a zinc plated steel valve body? Let's see here. I want to lose these screws. See what happens to titanium when you scratch it and dent it. Actually, it was like it kind of rubbed off, doesn't it? That's from where I was doing this with my finger because I can't. This doesn't work because the trigger here, my index finger hits that right there. See, on my grip. I don't like it. So if I remember, I tried this. So this is what he's talking about, saying it's a zinc plated steel valve body here, but it's not magnetic. So if it was steel, it would magnetize, I would think. And it doesn't feel like zinc. It feels like, I don't know. Zinc is usually, it can be this texture, but I don't know. All right, I'm behind on chat, so. Vice deal, you can use Uberflex on a reel. Finding the ability to get the M22 to connect and have a large enough hole or area on the reel to feed the M22 through is going to be the most difficult thing. If it's a manual reel, you can run it outside. You'll have to loop your hose a little more. On a retractable hose reel, that's where it can get a little dicey. You'll have to use like an adapter from M22 to 3/8. And then screw it in there. But sometimes this part right here is too large for the opening that is on the reel, and you'll have to modify it a little bit to fit it in there. Just depends on the brand. Yeah, Ethos gun it's this. That's why that Ethos gun is never going to be on market again. We already know this. Like it's gone. It's been pulled off. They canceled a ton of orders. They shorted orders. They I know people who tried to order 3 different ones and all 3 of them were canceled. So yeah, they knew. They kind of, I feel like I was kind of used there. I hit him up and I was like, hey, do you know this is going to be a legal issue with this gun? No, factory says everything's fine. Everything's fine. So I think he was just trying to get, I don't know, the sales out before he tried to recoup because he'd had them for a long time. I guess he's trying to, I don't know, but it is going to be redesigned for sure. All right. So let's get back to the DDM because we're kind of getting off course here. But yeah, let me know, like, guys, because if it was true steel, it would be it would magnetize, wouldn't it? Cast aluminum's possible. I just feel like it's so heavy to be aluminum, though. Like this part of the gun, you feel the weight. It's right in here. Like it's right here. So I'm not sure. All right. So what I can do is I'm going to pull you guys straight forward here. And I don't know how this is going to work camera-wise, but it is what it is. So you guys at least see it in action a little bit. I'm not just going here and tease you guys and not show you something. So the biggest thing I noticed about the DDM is if you turn it off, when you run just straight water, it's just 2 gallons per minute. Yeah, 2.06 gallons per minute. And this is usually off 2% at most. But when you turn it on, it doesn't do like the pressurized thing. It's on right now. Nothing. Oh, okay. Now you're going to do it. It does have an unloader. I haven't touched it. It has a lockout Allen screw, and it looks like it's set the way it is. I'll bring the laptop. I'm using a laptop. I'll bring the laptop over here and show you guys a little bit up close. But see, the ramp down is much less. I haven't tried the Obsessed Garage one. The Obsessed Garage version or spec of this supposedly has a 4-second ramp down adjustment on it compared to the regular one, the Gen 2. But if when I pull the trigger, that's pretty quick. That's pretty quick. So grab my, don't know where it is. So it comes with a 6.0. The 6.0 is dead on the same PSI that my 6.0 gets. So the nozzle is good. But here's the trigger pull to the pressure. So that ramp down, I think I could be kind of okay with it. The Gen 2 was so long, making videos would just take me forever to wait for that thing to calm down. But that's not bad. It was 2.54 at 700. 14.3 amps in 15 amp mode. So here's the difference. I'm going to run it in 15 and I'm going to switch it to 20 while it's running. Then we jump to about 820, 17 amps, and about 2.88 gallons per minute on the 20 amp with a 6.0 nozzle. One thing I did notice is you go down in the nozzles, your change in GPM is there. But once you go above the 6, the GPM does not crawl up at all, really. It just, the pressure is what changes. So a 7.0 nozzle. You're decreasing your amps to about 16 or so, but 2.88 still, but 630 PSI. So you're still getting that flow isn't changing. The PSI is going down. But what I found, what I like is the 5.0 nozzle. If I can find it. Where's my 5.0 at? I think it's on the table over here. It's at the end of Josh's wand. So I can show you that as well. So let's see here. If I can orientate this right. We put it 15 amp. 15 amp. So this is why I like this, because that gets you in the 750. I've already forgot. 750 or so, 2.3 gallons per minute, and you're 14. I'm all the time between 14.1 and 14.3 amps the whole time. Nothing changes. Right now we're 117.5 volts. We are running directly into the wall here instead of using our normal 10 gauge reel, which would drop voltage 1 or 2 while it's running. While it's running, it's about 114.5. And the one thing I like is it's 2.3 gallons per minute at 750 in 15 amp mode. If I bump it up to 20 amp, I'll be significantly higher and I'll be at the flow I like. And So if I want to go to spotless and I want to use less water, then I just hit my 15 amp button. So here we go. Yeah. 960 at 2.5 gallons per minute at 19 amps. So if I just hit the button, then I'll drop from 2.5 to 2.3. And then obviously, if you drop the 15 amp, you just turn the dial down to meet whatever you need. So that's 2 gallons a minute at 700 PSI. And then what you would do is if you wanted to run a higher pressure at a lower GPM, then you would just bump your nozzles down to a 4.0 or so. So let's get caught up on the chat questions here. So I appreciate the super chat there, but really truly, it just, YouTube takes half. So if you ever wanted to think about donating, if I'm on a live or something, just go to the Phoenix EOD website, and there should be, Rick Smith, if you're in here, let me know. There should be a place where you can donate to the GoFundMe for the shipping for the Pay It Forward campaign. That would be a good place for that to go to. All right, let me see what I got here. High pitch cat, I mean, kind of, sort of. Nowhere near a Ryobi though. Let's get decibel. The cool thing is at 15 amp at the right nozzle, you can get almost 2.5 gallons a minute out of this thing. That's 80 up close with no nozzle. Here's what I was talking about with this wand. So it's straight, right? It's already horizontal. See, vertical. Let's work this way horizontal. Let me know in the chat if you're not hearing me well over all that noise. It does, enthusiasts. It'll pull 19 amps if you're in 20 amp mode. It pulls just straight 19 amps. So if you were to run it with the pressurized with the 6.0 nozzle that it comes with, that's about 80 decibels. If we put it in 20 amp mode, that's about 81.5. If I was to come over here near you guys, about 6 feet away, on 20 amp, it's hard to do it because the sound from this. So let's muffle it. Let's get rid of this. All right, bring this over this way. I'm going to put this way over here. See what the difference is. It don't change much, does it? There we go. So that's your true machine dB, more or less, even though that sound is still influencing, because the sound of the water coming out of the end of the wand is right around 81, 82 decibels. I mean, a higher pitch than most, but it's not, it doesn't bother me. I would have to use it more. And these numbers are with a 1/4-inch hose. Other parts of the testing will definitely get these numbers with a 3/8-inch hose as well, so we can kind of figure its true potential, because it's not going to unlock true potential, because the 3/8-inch hose is probably going to pull its amp usage down. So then it's going to be able to have a little bit more of a ceiling to move up to. We probably get the 3 gallon per minute at that point, probably. Juice, I don't know. 600 psi at 3 gallons a minute would hit pretty hard. But I would do it with like a 25-degree nozzle. I think you would hit pollen spots pretty good. 40-degree nozzle, I think a fan spread's gonna, yeah. Anytime I'm lowering my pressure, I am reducing my degrees on my nozzle to make up for the impact loss, right? Kind of hear me. Taylor, I don't know of anything that you could really dual with an AR630. That would be cheaper. I really don't. Active 2.3 maybe. It's going to be 2 weird mixed sounds though. And your pressure switches between the two won't be in sync. A silencer, yeah. I mean, you could just throw this in a cabinet. I know several people who are already talking about wanting to put one of these in a cabinet. So that's why they wanted me to test different types of setup. Fu, who's like, I guess he's on Morocco or something like right now. So he's not on here, but he was telling me he had asked me to test the 1.1 orifice foam cannon and just test a single nozzle on just 20 amp, because he wants to throw it in a cabinet and not have to go back and touch buttons and stuff. He just wants it to be the way it is. So to see which orifice in the foam can is going to be the way, because he's like me, he would rather use less water when using a foam can to make sure your dilution ratio is closer to what it needs to be without having to use a ton of soap. And then some people want to go crazy. Like, I mean, I have every nozzle size from 2 to 10 really in halves. Well, not that one on the floor. There's your live blooper. But seeing how it all works between the 15 amp, the 20 amp, because when you step the nozzles, the machine, you know, it won't let you go over amp. So it gets the best it possibly can out of that nozzle. And then you can play with the adjustment. And you're like, at least now, some people who want specific ratings, they don't have to change their nozzles. They'll be able to use something like this. They can use the dial and switch from 15 amp to 20 amp to use a 4.0 nozzle instead of having to get a 5 or something like that. Yeah, ARXP to me would be a good upgrade from a K1700 if you're looking for flow. Karcher is known to be a little bit better durability from a long term, but then you get people who go into the comments and say Karcher sucks. So, you know, whenever you sell as many units as they do, Ryobi, Greenworks, any of these companies, there are always going to be ones that fail. It's just that way. How much of that fail is manufacturing percentages when it comes to just there's a fail rate, and then how much of it is user, I don't know. Some people are throwing 1,000 ppm water through these machines. Not going to last very long. Where does the Big Boy Washer Pro 20 rank at? For me, it doesn't even make the list personally. Yeah, you know what? It kind of does. It's okay. I've just had I haven't had great luck with Big Boy myself overall. It is their third revision, the 20. Finally going to 20 amp, kind of I think solved a lot of the issues. I was still getting a little bit of a hum here and there. I found ways around it. But really truly for the money, I don't think the performance was as good as I thought it was going to be because the GPM was a little bit lower than I was expecting. But it's still an overall decent machine. I do say that the European and Australian models I hear are really good because they're 240 volt and they do really well. Yeah, I mean, I would be content with a Ryobi Automotive as well, Corey. I mean, they work. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, what will happen? There's no need to call out Jamie. I'll call out Jamie. Rick Smith, have you done any more reviews or testing on the ARXP 1000P? Have watched. No, not really. Like a lot of products, they just wind up over here on the shelf. Like, I mean, you've got Maxflow Gen 2 here. There's a Gen 1 behind it. There's a 635 here, a big boy 20 amp right there. What is even that? Oh, that's the big boy duo. Original active VE52, an AR675, a big boy quad, a 2.0. The old man fart machine from Blue Shield was right there. Ego, McKellen's, Ryobi Automotive, Greenworks 1700, 2.3, another 2.3, another 2.3, the Vavor. There's a Ryobi 1800 here, Greenworks Automotive down there. And those are the ones that I keep on the shelves for possible comparisons. The rest of them are in boxes in another room, ready to go to the Pay It Forward campaign, because the last few times, I bet you Rick will and Israel will say the same, is with the Pay It Forward campaign. This last time, I think we need to reduce the time it takes us to do all this stuff and like the packaging costs. So instead of destroying the boxes that they come in, I'm keeping the boxes. So like everything on that shelf over there, the box to it is in a storage room on the other side of the house. So I might have to get me a storage facility to house all this stuff. But keeping the original box is going to make it easier for me to transport. It's going to make it easier to ship and get everything together. And another thing I want to do this year that I think I did poorly is I gave all these products, but I didn't give all the adapters and fittings that was needed. So I think we were donating products, giving them a spray gun and a hose and a pressure washer, but not necessarily the quick connects that make it all work. If it was an M22 hose and a 3-inch gun, then somebody who is down on luck is being donated something. They have to go out and buy a quick connect. So I'm actually probably thinking about going to Ohio in the next couple of months to go see Aaron. And then I want to go through inventory, everything, make sure we have all of the fittings that we need. Rick Smith, are these companies overcomplicating a pressure washer just to perform out? Well, more or less, because you really can't. I mean, the technology, I mean, you have Active did the 5-piston pump to be able to get more flow out of a smaller circuit. Outside of that, I mean, it's like pressure washer guns and this kind of and wands and stuff. I mean, what more can you do outside of improving hand feel and stuff like that? Maxflow is a company of engineers, so they're going to over engineer. And they thought that the only way to advance pressure washing performance is to go to a permanent magnet motors to make the motor more efficient to get as much of the power to the unit. It's kind of like, a car trying to get rid of drivetrain loss. So that way you can get more horsepower to the rear wheels without creating more power. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I guess time was good. I just felt like I didn't have enough time to hang out. Like I think we could have hung out more. I definitely want another double breakfast from Rick Smith for sure. With the Active 2.3, um, a lot of people are trying the 1.4 millimeter orifice from Armored Detail Supply, and it's right on the line. Depends on your voltage. Like I did it at 15.2, but if you could get that 1 point, and remember when you're foaming a car, you're foaming it for like 1 minute. The circuit's going to be fine. You may run in the machine a little bit. I don't, in my videos, I don't like to say to overamp the machine because I just don't want people to come back at me saying, hey, I blew up my machine. But you told me it was okay. But if you ran 15.1 or 15.2 for like 30 seconds or a minute, I don't think it's crazy. But a lot of people are getting better foam because the one that comes with the active, they say it's a 1.45, but it's really like a size 1.5. So it's like, it's much larger and it just doesn't create the best foam in the world. It doesn't. It's kind of like this. It's kind of like the middle step of what's happening to the active 3.0, just on not as large of a level, with, you know, not being able to step down your orifice size unless you're Ryan from Fine Details. He's the only person in the world that can get a 1.5 orifice to work under amp, and he gets pretty good foam. But he is the only person I know of that can get good foam with the 635 without putting 10 pounds of soap in the bottle. So Rick, the swivel, the verdict's not out yet, but like I showed, it's moving on me just from. So if you want to use this, this is a two-handed operation. So if you were a person like me, I use the wand because I want the splash to be 2 or 3 feet further away from me. That's why I've switched to the Lance. When I got the Telluride, I was having to reach, so I got the wand to reach. But I started noticing when I was doing wheels and tires with my 15-degree nozzle, the splashback. But having the wand, I'm able to just get myself a little bit of distance. But that distance, you don't get that distance if you have to use two hands because your reach isn't the same. You know, this is the same thing in like lawn tools and stuff when you're using stuff. It's about like, you know, the reach with 1 versus 2. But here, like you see it demonstrate. Here's a straight line vertical. It's already horizontal. I mean, it's like touchy. It's touchy. So definitely two-hand operation. Flip your upside down, even though you probably need to change your hand position if you're going to do that long enough. But side down. The angle isn't kind of enough for me. I like a little bit more of an angle than this. Like I said, myself, it's not the way that I can use the wand. I really thought I was going to be able to use it, but I don't think I'm going to be able to use it. It moves too much, too easily. Let's change a 15-degree nozzle to see if you use a 15-degree nozzle, does it move on you? Yeah. So I was hoping with the fan being much more abrupt that it wasn't going to propel itself, but it does the same. It's a good swivel though. I'm wondering if I can just vice grip and clamp this and use this somewhere else, because this is one of the very few swiveling quick connects that has a male barb at the end. Almost all of your swiveling quick connects are female. Actually, no, it's the other way around. What am I thinking? So it's basically a 1/4-inch version of the M22 swivel that I have on this. So that's male. Yeah, I got it backwards. See, if in a real video, I would have cut that out and reset it again. Yeah, but I don't know. Right now, it's I don't know. Oh, I'm making it to breakfast, Rick Smith, and you're buying me a Philly cheesesteak omelet. That's what you're doing. Reinvent the foam can and make them work better. Yeah, I mean, Somebody would have to start from the ground up and start over again, because I think we're there. We're at the limit. Like, you could change your filter media, maybe. Somebody can start trying to change how the filter is designed, maybe. Soap draw with the Venturi effect. Yeah, I mean, I think we're kind of at the limit. It's all about features. If you're expecting a content plan and schedule with Aaron, I think you're asking for a lot, Israel. All right. Have you ever tried Mosmatic foam cannon? No, I never will. $400. It's too much for me. I'll never use the OG Mosmatic gun either, because it just costs too much. Yeah, I mean, the Mosmatic, if it worked, Matt would be using it. I don't think he got it to do very well either. I think there's a whole lot of adjusting you can do with it, but I don't know. It's too much. It's true. My wand handling is beyond reproach for like 30 years now. Well, man, I don't know what, 37 years since I was 10. I think 10, 9, 10. It's probably when you start getting your wand handling. Corey, I think it's great if you use two hands. I don't think it's great if you are one-handed, because as you do this, the swivel is changing the fan position. So if I'm like this and I'm going around, I know I'm altering my fan spray. With your hand on there as a second hand, then you could alter the swivel and swivel to always keep your fan spray. But if you're only doing it with one hand, then it's basically becoming a very slow moving turbo nozzle. Yeah, Aaron can be lame sometimes, especially when he's talking about comic book characters. Anytime you see Aaron, text him and tell him the new Spider-Man movie was great. I have the extension ones from Harbor Freight. Didn't realize how useful they were. You see how many wands I have over here? Like, this is what Israel's talking about. A round wand. See, this is kind of wand I like. It's shorter, like 18-inch. A small area for your hand. That's round, so you can do it in any position. But with something like this, I would prefer about a 25-degree angle or so. So you would take this one and mix it with this one to get that length. Something like this. But this is a little bit longer, and all that extra plastic makes it just a little bit heavier. More or less. What I use is the active one. I never would have bought it. They sent it to me for review. So, but this is, once again, Israel's talking about. I prefer this to be rounded, a little bit smaller. I put this push lock is on Amazon for about $15 on the female side. Threw that on there. This is what I've been using. I wish someone made skins for pressure washers. Guess what? Maxflow does. It's not a skin, but it's a plate. So like, this is the Gen 2. If I can get this stupid thing down here. This is the Gen 2 Galaxy that they sent me for review, because I made fun of their first one being R2-D2, so they thought it'd be a Galaxy theme for the second one. But I'm going to tell you how much I made fun of this little light bar. I kind of miss it on this. There's no light bar on this. So when you use your dial for your power, it's like it's a clickable, never-ending turn. So it doesn't go to a limit and then go down to a minimum. So if you do this enough, it goes full. But if you go down 5 clicks, nothing happens until you go down a certain amount. So you don't know where you are on the dial. So I kind of wish the light was back, but even then it just adds complication, right? To something that doesn't need any more complication. And I've lost my chat. There we go. All right, guys. I'm sorry if I missed anything. Like, I really don't know what I'm doing here. Yeah, the OG's Mosmatic. I found some copycat ones, you want to call them, and it just felt kind of bulky in the hand. And I've talked to many people, they felt like it was a bit bulky. No, no, no. The $99 OG soap is not replacing the Incredible Suds, because by the time that you pay the shipping at Obsessed Garage, because they don't offer any free shipping limits or anything, unless you're a Hex member, you have to pay like so much a year. You're going to be paying $120 a gallon instead of $99 a gallon. Two hands on a wand. It's funny. Mosmatic wand for the grip. I haven't really looked at the Mosmatic wand. One thing I noticed about like the Mosmatic wand, isn't that little rubber guard really isn't there for the nozzle area? It's just kind of like there to protect that quick connect, I think. Hope everything is well. Have you seen the ARXP high flow detailing pressure washer available for pre-order on Clean Garage? Is that the ARXP that I just reviewed? Or is there a different one? I've already reviewed the ARXP. It was available just through the ARXP website. You can use code KEAV10 to save you 10%. I know Clean Garage doesn't really do discount codes, so you can also get it at Walmart.com and HomeDepot.com as well. Oh, my phone's about to die. I'm about to lose my chat. Let me plug this power in over here. All right. So I'm just going to do one quick foaming with the DDM, and then, maybe we'll try to take some more ideas on what to test. I don't want to go crazy. I don't want to make it a numbers event. When is the active pressure washer cart coming? I'm not sure. I just got the S350. It's still in the box. I got it like 2 days ago. The box coming was so far past launch date that like the want to put it out, wasn't there compared to what else. Like I already had the embargo date with the rag company stuff, and I couldn't push that back. Like, I mean, I don't know yet. I'm about to take it out. I'm going to put it up against the Suds Labs plug-in dryer, and like an Ego 880, and like a Greenworks cordless handheld. Just see, is it worth it versus the competition? Is it all in one? Like, can you use it for interior? Can you use it for car cleaning, like as a single use unit? All that kind of stuff. I don't know anything about the IK foam cannon. Israel in the chat knows more about it than I do, probably. Where it's made and all that kind of stuff. Oh, look, AMI Details showed up. I was just trying to get a kind of plan together to figure out how we want to test this. Like, so we don't have a bunch of comments in the video like, hey, what about this? What about that? I wanted to get it all covered in the video at least. So I just wanted to, this was the plan. I was going to run a 1.1, a 1.25, 135, and just run it all the way from, 15 amp, 20 amp, run all the nozzles from 2 to 7 in 15 amp and 20 amp. And then every now and then turn the dial down. Personally, based off of the dial, I prefer to just change the nozzles personally myself versus having to adjust that dial, because that dial not, there's a blooper. My dial not having the min and the max, like you don't know when the min stops and the max, like I don't like it without having that light bar kind of telling me where it's at. I'd rather just use a nozzle. When is Matt Mormon coming to do my garage for me? he would come and he would pass out and go to the hospital if he saw the jankiness that's in this garage. I was soon. I don't know if you could dual. I was able to dual regular Maxflows, so I would think that these would dual as well. That's a lot of water though. It's a lot of water. That's gonna better have some wrist practice in there, Adamo. Matt would level my house, regrade my lot because he doesn't care about grass, and rebuild the house. And then in 5 years, we would have what we want, and then he would sell it. He'd probably keep the deed in his name and sell it. And say, well, on to the next one. Let me get this fixed here. All right, so let's I think we kind of got an idea of, so AMI, what you were, I was going to reach out to you anyway, just to make sure. But that's what I was going to do. I was going to use a 1.1, 125, get the dilutions off camera, show them in a chart, show you how to get dilution, and then see like, hey, a 1.1 at 15 amps, at 20 amps, 1.25 at 15 amps, at 20 amps, to see like, so you'll be able to see which orifice will be best for you for your PIR, more or less. And then if you have different PIRs, then you might be able to not change orifices, but you might be able to use the same orifice and switch and use one in 15 amp and one in 20 amp, just depending on, you know, if you wanted a heavier dilution on one and a lower dilution on another. I don't have a way to gravity feed juice. I can just do I can do a straight siphon. I'll have to ask them if straight siphon is okay or not. I don't, this is a pre-production unit, so it is not mine. So I have to return it, and I definitely don't want to burn it up. But if it does siphon, then you don't even need gravity. You just need a shorter hose, and you want your level of water to be about the same as the or a little bit up and down. You know. Labo Cannon versus Rad Company Cannon. Will the Labo Cannon make it here? I don't know. A quarter inch hose is for sure restricting flow. Absolutely it is. But the best thing about the Maxflow is you can use a quarter inch hose to get the flexibility you want. And it's going to limit the amps. So you're never going to overamp. So if you like the experience, because I mean, to me, 2.8 versus 3.1, like I don't see a difference. I don't. Me, like I said once before, I think the limit for me is 1000 at 2.5 GPM. I think that is the absolute like perfect equilibrium between flow and pressure for me, for what I like to do. Like the 40-degree nozzle looks amazing. The 25 looks amazing. A 50-degree looks just feels amazing. It's just kind of what I like. And you need a machine with a certain amount of flow and pressure to get that equilibrium where I want it. So you need almost a 3 gallon per minute machine to be able to get the 1000 at 2.5 or so. True, Adamo. If it siphons, gravity will be better for sure. Absolutely. I go full send with my chemicals. 3 to 5 ounces. You sound like Matt. Matt uses a lot. That's why GSF foams so well for him, because he uses like 10 ounces or whatever in there. But yeah, this stuff right here is pretty dang good. Let's we'll end the stream with that. Let me get a foam cannon. We'll get the Rad Company, since you know it's already here. No, well, we'll use the DDM, right? We need something smaller. No, we'll use the Rad Company. We'll throw their 1.1 in there. I have that over here. Let's see. So these are those Rag Company orifices. They're large. And this thing is, the amps is significantly lower than other orifices of the same size. Because I was able to use a 1.2 on the Ryobi Automotive, and I was getting 13.5 amps. And I've never had it like that. Usually a 125's 13.5 to 14 amps. All right, 1 ounce. Give me a measuring cup. If I decide to live stream in the future, I'll be more prepared. Try to do multiple camera views and stuff. I'm looking at getting a local security camera, at least in 2 different spots in the garage, so they're recording at all times. So if I ever forget to record, I'll have the footage. Or if I make a mistake off camera, it'll be on camera. So 30 mils. So here's the consistency of the soap. It is shampoo plus-ish, GSF-ish. So there isn't a whole lot left on your container if you're using it to measure. There isn't, unlike Incredible Suds, like half it would still be on there. All right. We're not even going to use DI water. This is just straight tap water. And this is why all those bloopers have me forgetting to turn the pressure washer back on, because I'm doing this. So I filled the 1,000. All right. Like, listen, guys, I'm sorry I don't have a moderator or somebody yelling questions at me and stuff to see the chat. So I wish it would get on my screen here, but I don't know why. I'm having to use my phone. Seen a large shower nozzle that Vermage car carrier is using. No, I have not. I'll have to look. I tried Half Ounce Enthusiast. It did not give me the foam I was looking for. I needed an ounce to get, but at an ounce, it's like, so maybe like 20 mils might be where I go. True. I mean, it's still not more concentrated than, say, like Apex or Incredible Suds or anything like that. But it is like, you'll see it has a dwell time like anything I've ever seen. Like, it is like, it just stays on the panel, like it runs off and it's just there. Like, it's just like coated in this foam. I mean, Juice, I like this. I like this soap. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's bad just because it's Obsessed Garage and it's uberly expensive, but at least you'll know if it's good or not. Whether or not you want to spend the money, that's another story. All right, let's get this here. We're gonna roll you guys around because you guys are just sitting on my display table. All right, you're too close. And if anybody ever wants to know why that, I can't tell the orientation of this camera. Why that tile is missing is because that's where the emergency shutoff is for my water. And I don't want to have to deal with a tile to get to it if something happens. So we have this. I mean, this survived that drop from the porch. Look at it. It's lopsided, but with the O-ring that I added, like, you know how much effort that takes? It is like It's not going anywhere. I mean, it moves this part. So once you set the click you want on this front one, they're not going nowhere. I do got to say my drop did kind of loosen the max point on this. It still clicks this way, but that happens. Let me eyeball this. I think that's about right. All right, this is the first time I phoned with the DDM. First time we phoned with the DDM. You can go over there. And my OCD is going crazy because my hood it's not centered on the somewhat. I guess that's doable. All right, guys, here we go. That's a 1.1 at 11 amps, 1.5 gallons per minute on the 15 amp. Oh, that's 20 amp. I was doing that on the 20 amp. Wow, really? Yeah, 11 amps. That's on the 20. This is the 15. What's the amps on that? It's on 15. I would think it's probably the same. Exactly the same. 1.5 gallons per minute. I know people are going to be asking, what's the pressure? I don't really care. It foamed. That's all that matters. This is what I'm talking about right here. This dwell, even, I mean, obviously we foam on top of foam on top of foam. So we, you know, we stacked it up. But yes, I'm not wasting. You know what? We're going to waste Matt's soap because I didn't pay for it. That's 1065 on 15 amp. That's 1065 on 20 amp as well. So 1.1 it is probably. And it didn't feel like it was sucking a ton of soap. But like I said, this dwell right here is what got me, because I was on a video and I did 8 minutes between takes, 8 to 10 minutes, and it literally was like this the entire time. Like whatever, like obviously he said he used the most expensive raws of everything there is, which I think a lot of people wanted to do, but nobody ever wanted to make a product and try to sell it. The one person that could sell the most expensive on earth, soap on earth, is Matt, for sure. Let me check my phone chat. So AMI, was that what you were looking for? I'm gonna say, everybody here that's getting like this preview here, think about me if when you're buying the DDM, CARSWITHKEAV, the discount code will be at Maxflow when it launches. But you know, I got to pay for this new car that I'm going to show you guys on Thursday. You know, I might give you guys a sneak preview. There's 112 of you in here. Holy crap! I don't even know if that's good or not. Yes, foam on foam does make it do that, Israel, for sure. But on just single, you know, well, we have time. We have time. He's going to call me out. I knew he was going to call me out. Let's start with a fresh panel. Use the DDM with the Keev nozzle. See what it does. Oh, we'll do half. I'm going to put the DDM on 20 amp on a 5.0, which is my preferred size. So that doesn't feel like something's happening here. There we go. I had the, so we got to do this again anyway, because the reason the 1.1 was only 11 amps is because I was at the minimum of the, I was turning the dial earlier. That's what I was trying to tell you. Kind of nice to have a light bar or something. Doesn't have to be a bar, just like a couple of dots to let me know if I'm at max or min, right? Or a dial that has a limit on it, so I know where my max and my min is. Holy crap. Wow. Look at that uniform. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Everybody keep your pants on. All right, I'm gonna cover the mic so the radio's loud, you know. This hood needs to be coated again. I was going to practice on it because my son's Civic, I need to do a headlight restoration and a polish on it. And it's going to be my first time using Pan's 18 millimeter. So suggestions is like a DIY gold standard or Pan's polish. It's pretty bad. It's not like, it would take like a really like a sanding to get this car back to the way it could be, but I want to get as good of an enhancement as possible. I was going to throw Phoenix OD Immortal on there, but that gives me the practice for my new car. And that one's gonna need a little bit of work. There's definitely a lot of hard water staining in areas, and this car has tons of angles. But let's get back to this. So at full, so I'm just going to turn it on 15 times, and that is hopefully max. So now we should get the amps we're looking for. This is 15 amp. We'll do half the so that's 15 amp. That's more like it. That's 14.3 amps. That's where it stays. And when you're using specific nozzles and stuff, you'll hear it modulating depending on where your circuit. It could be a little more, could be a little less amps. I don't know. Firmware, I don't know if this firmware is going to be the same one that's the firmware at release. I haven't gotten word of that yet. But 20 amp with a 1.1. There's a 1.1 in here. What is, I don't know why I disconnected that. That's 18.95. And yep, everybody's gonna wanna pressure. You guys are getting a free preview here. So like I said, think about me when you're thinking about buying it. That's a different sound. That was 1090. So it's 1100 PSI on the 15 amp, but on the 20 amp, it was only hitting 1000. Huh. There's nothing loose. But on the 20 amp on that 1.1, that's the noise. But to me, the 15 amp is more than sufficient. We don't want to double the foam on the panel. Israel will have a heart attack. All right. Well, let's sit for a minute so you can see that dwell that I was telling you about. This is off a single application. But you see, this is where maybe the lines hit twice. That's why it's running like that. But it just stays there forever. All right, let's get back to chat. Yeah, I don't know what that sound is. The sound is not that. I don't get that sound at all on any of the nozzles. The only time was running that 1.1 with the foam cannon on the 20 amp. But is that noise bad? I don't know. There's nothing loose because all there is the handle. I was holding the handle down. Let's run it. Because when I got the amp rating to begin with, it wasn't making that noise. So 20 amp. Oh, it does it without the bottle too. You turn it down. Okay. So if you're running a 1.1, I would suggest to do it on the 15 amp. Or you run it on the 20 amp, you're going to need to turn the dial down about halfway. That's when that noise stops. I don't know what that noise is. I'll ask Maxflow tomorrow. As you see, so it's definitely not like moving. So half ounce possibly could be a little bit runnier and it would make it to where it would run a little bit. But this is a pH neutral contact soap. This isn't a pre-wash soap. So like you're going to be touching this anyway. So to me, contact wash soap, your pH neutral, whatever you're going to use for your contact wash, just needs to stick to the panel for you to do your mitt wash. You can see where you last were and stuff and add the lubrication. Outside of that, like it's not going to clean because if you use the pre-wash, you already would have done that. I will say the smell on this OG soap, it's like very citrusy note. It's nice. Yeah, firmware and pressure washer for sure. Yep. Not just firmware, but like it literally tracks like usage. Like it tells them how many cycles you've done. It tells them all kinds of stuff. Can't Wait Racing. I have no idea. I really don't delve into chemicals a whole lot. I know that Quiver is made by Thor Blending. They have their own chemists. I would assume with Thor Blending the raws, but DIY Detail and pans, I don't use Thor Blending, then I don't think so. But there are only so many raws out there to use that are not crazy expensive. So it doesn't take much to throw together a product that's the same as somebody else's. It's just percentages differences of like the different, whatever surfactant. If it's in a soap, there's probably more when it comes like surfactants, different types of surfactants. Like I try not to delve into the chemical stuff, but it's just like the hardware stuff. I mean, the Quiver, foam cannons, MJGC, half all the companies, I mean, 95% of the companies out there that sell a hardware accessory, it's literally just like, you know, everybody could make it. Very few have done their own design from ground up. Oh, Juice, are we switching you to the dark side? You're going to buy? Yeah, Incredible Suds when it's on sale. See, what I used to do is they stopped it. So at Black Friday, DIY Detail used to do a gift card sale. So anything on the site was a certain percent off or whatever. So I would use my 10% discount and I would get commission on the sale. And so I would get that. And then a month later, they would always do like a buy 2 gallon, get 1 gallon free deal. So then I would use my discounted gift card to buy and I wound up having like 3 or 4 gallons of incredible suds because I've only ever been given the very first bottle from Ivan when they first started, before they even like were selling them. Nick sent them to me, not Ivan. That I really didn't even know Ivan at the time. I didn't get to know Ivan until after that. It was Nick that initially reached out to me. But I'm still like I'm still on that gallon, one of those gallons from that deal. They don't do it anymore though. Yeah, the Colton's. I've talked to Colton already. He's a little concerned about the GFCI on the Maxflow, but I don't think he's getting a pre-production. I've talked to him already. Don't know why. They talked to him about getting one. Wow, you keeping track of time? 4 minutes since the foam has been. Like I said, it just sits there. I mean, whatever. I don't know if it's voodoo or whatever, because like, a lot of soaps. Okay, it's starting to happen here. You start to get that oily streak. That's when, like, if you're like in Arizona or hot climate stuff, you start worrying about this stuff right here. But if it's a pH neutral and the right surfactants, they should just rinse off. They shouldn't like stay behind. They shouldn't leave residue. Oh, look, Dan's in here. Oh, juice is already into the SDS. It's made by Armor Detail Supply Blending, so the OG soap. And it's like somebody said it was like a health tier 3 or some rating. Shampoo Plus has the same rating. They were asking a lot of questions about it, but Bradley was in the comments of the video answering it, but I didn't look too much into it. Yeah, for sure, Chingy. It's clearly for the foam show, the slickness and the cling, for sure. That's what it's for, which is why I don't want to use too little. I want to use the right amount, 1 ounce. I would say 20 mils you could probably get by as well, maybe even a little bit less, but I still wanted a certain dilution. I don't want to lean my dilution out too much because it still may be foam, but is it going to have the slickness at that dilution or the dwell? Is it going to work differently? Selling a brand new 3.0. I do not use McGuire's. No, I used their gold class years ago. Pretty Boy Tony, I don't know yet. I need to use it for some washes. I wash predominantly outside because just even though I built the garage for it, it's a pain to get around the vehicle, and especially my new car. It fills this place up. It's big, so I just don't have the room to work, especially close to the door and up by the wall. And foaming just foams everything down, so you almost have to use an IK to foam it down. So I just prefer to wash outside early in the morning or late in the afternoon. And then I'll bring it in if I want to dry it or do anything else. But as you can see, still there. Spill the beans, Keeve. Here, I'll show you a picture. The video comes out Thursday, the first wash of her name is Hilda. So we know that we've always named our German, it's a German car, German truck, or whatever you want to call it. A name that starts with H, Heidi, Helen, and if I can get it, I'll show you. Dang. How many pictures do I take? So there we go. Sneak peek for all of you. It's a BMW X7 M60i in Marina Blue. And that paint is nice. It's a little bit of work. I need to get a PDR guy in, and I get a couple of chips taken care of. There's a lot of hard water staining in all of the angled areas, especially on the piano black or the gloss black trim areas where water drips out. And his car has definitely been seeing auto wash its entire life because you can see the areas in the curves that never get washed. Yeah, but Yeah. Kind of a combo of me selling Heidi to my son and the Telluride. We take the Telluride and Heidi and put them together, and we have a 500 horsepower SUV with 3 rows and all that stuff inside, like heated and cooled cup holders and stuff. Hey, Israel, I did get a good deal on it though. It's Carvana is already, I looked at Carvana and already offered me more than I paid for it. So I got a pretty good deal, CPO deal. So it's used 2024, 16,000 miles. I paid 77,000 for it, and it's still about 3 or 4,000 below trade-in value, like 3,000 right at trade-in value. So I figured it was pretty good deal. Like if something happened, I could be able to get out of it and still be, it is the most expensive car that I've ever bought for sure. By the Telluride, I think was 58 sticker, brand new, and I got it for 53. They did give me, I got top dollar for the Telluride. They were like, I told their detailing department to come out and check out the paint. And I was like, this is what a car should look like. Cause I was pointing at the BMW. I was like, yeah, you guys ran it through the auto wash, and somebody sprayed wax on the front of the car, on the front grill. And there was a wax streak where it dried on there, and I'm still having trouble getting that off. Anybody know in the comments how to get that off? I'll show you a picture of that. I got a picture of like getting it, and I was doing a pose. And look, it's still clinging. All right, let's see. Here we go. So here's me doing my Instagram pose. You can see it. You see it right? Yeah, you can see it right there on the inside of that. See that wax streak? There's a couple of spots. There was wax streaks where, like, if somebody sprayed and they didn't wipe. So, or if it's SiO2, I don't know what they used, but it's just a streak. And I tried to do a hand microfiber with my finger and get it off, and I got about half of it off. The rest of it, it's still there. I just haven't spent my time to do it yet. Oh, I'm tripping the X7. The Telluride's gone. Telluride's gone. I traded it in. I couldn't afford those two at the same time. No way. I had to trade in. It does have a booger for sure. The BMW has a booger. Listen, I don't want to let this sit forever, but like what I would normally do if I wanted to move, I'd spray back here and be like, but once again, this is the 5.0. Jeez. And I did notice earlier as well, like that Rag Company video, I filmed an entire segment of using the OG soap, but the video was way too long. I had to cut it out. So I figured, we'll do another time, but it rinses off really easily as well. This is the CARSWITHKEAV nozzle. Let's do 20 amp on this machine here. I mean, comes off so easy. And the CARSWITHKEAV nozzle on 20 amp is, yes, I think I'm at the limit of the hose. The hose limit, it's still 2.8. So I'm pretty sure we're at the limit of the hose. So in the video, I'm for sure going to be testing with a 3/8" hose as well. We'll show the difference between the 1/4 and 3/8, because right around 2.6, 2.7 gallons per minute, that's where the 1/4" hose is really going to restrict. And depending on the length, it could be even more. Not just that, but like all the spots, right? Like the swivels on the guns are smaller diameter than the bore of the gun. Like all these different areas, depending on what you're using. The M22 swivel that I have down here, it has a smaller bore than the hose. So there's restriction points for sure. So you could definitely maximize the flow. But I think with a 3/8" hose, we're going to get right around 3 gallons a minute for sure. And who knows, with a 3-inch hose, we may not have that issue with the 1.1 on the foam cannon. So last check of the chat, and then I'm gonna head in and chill out. So it rinses too good, Juice. Yeah, like I found nothing with this soap that isn't like really good. My thing is though, this is the reason I like Incredible Suds is because Incredible Suds has some alkaline to it. It's like depending 8.5 pH. So it had, if I needed to use it a little bit as a pre-wash, not on a really dirty car, I could use it. It has a little bit of cleaning power. This is specifically for the mitt wash, specifically for the contact wash, and the foam show and all that. And it does it all, but you're paying for it, that's for sure. And I'm still upset that Matt didn't sign my label. And I didn't pay for it, so I'll pour one out for the homies. All right, guys, let's do real quick on the chat. 5/16 hose for sure. When I've tested in the past, all the way up with the AR635, I've seen no difference between a 5/16 hose and a 3-inch hose, outside of maybe a little bit of amp difference. I've not seen a performance difference because a 5/16 hose is going to get you well above in performance, unless you're at 100 feet. You might say a difference between 100 feet of 5/16 versus 3/8 at 3 GPM. But we for sure, I mean, for sure, it's going to be a long video. AMI for sure, 5/16 would be a sweet spot. The only reason I would test with a 3-inch hose is because the majority of people either have a 1/4 or a 3/8 already. 5/16 is going to give you the flow capability and a little bit better flexibility for sure. Yeah, no problem. I don't mind including you guys. It's alive, so it's my first one. Like I said, I'm using my phone. I'm not using some kind of StreamYard. I'm not using anything. I'm just literally just set it up for the first time. I had to go through the whole process of setting everything up. Let me know. Is it crazy amount of commercials? Because if it is, I'll try to see how I can limit those. Obviously, YouTube, does their thing. And how about that? I don't know if any of you heard about the changes at YouTube today, announced today. They go into effect in February. They have doubled the requirements to be monetized on YouTube. If you're already monetized, you're fine. Actually, the requirements to stay monetized have gotten easier. The ability to monetize has gotten twice as hard at 8,000 watch hours. Where is the hot sauce bottle I signed? Rick, it is. It's right here. It's right here. It's about done. It's getting there. Dinner was amazing. Pulled pork and yellow rice. I use Lily. It's called like Daisy yellow rice. I put it in the rice cooker. When it's done in the rice cooker, I throw it into a pan, throw a block of butter in there with it and mix it around. I use my Instant Pot and I pressure cook the pork. I usually buy pork steaks, shoulder steaks, and then I'll throw them in there with a 12-ounce Coke. Of course, I'll sear them beforehand, 12-ounce Coke. Then I'll drain the oil out of this stuff, and then I'll boil it up and render it down and have au jus as well. If you buy OG soap, it's all my fault. Hey, go to one of my videos and go to the description and use the OG link. It won't save you any discount, but at least you give me a tip. Great live to pop your cherry. That's funny. Who doesn't have premium? Dan, I don't. And your creators are supported way more from the premium than from the ad revenue. Premium pays significantly more RPM, they call it. That's CPM is the total. YouTube takes their cut, and then what's left is your RPM. And the RPM on premium is significantly higher than ad revenue. No commercials on my end. Nice. They did not make it easier to get monetized. They made it harder in February. 20 million YouTube short views in 90 days. And then you have to do 10 million every 90 days to keep it. The long form videos went from 4,000 watch hours. They're going to 8,000 watch hours. But once you're monetized, you only have to maintain like 1,000 watch hours in order to keep your monetization. So that got easier. It's the getting, I don't know if they're making it harder because the ad revenue is, everybody keeps making channels. The ad revenue is getting stretched out because corporations are only going to give you so much money to spread out. Maybe they've sold too much space. Who knows? But maybe they're trying to shrink I don't know if they're trying to make sure the channels that have been there and helped build YouTube from the beginning are still getting their fair share. And I don't know. It is kind of discouraging though, but I think it's also, they're trying to curb some AI slop, because if you double the requirements, some people may be discouraged to just try to make an AI slop channel and all the bot slop channels and stuff. No, Tabasco is not hot sauce. That's correct. It is red wine vinegar with some pepper in there. Simpleton YouTube. That's funny. I'll look at it. I can't stop the before and after, but hopefully I can stop the mid rolls on the ads. We did hit 100 at some point, Corey. I was 112 at one point. I don't know. I don't want to go through all this giveaway stuff. Hold on a second. Let me get through these comments to make sure. Have a second 15 amp outlet installed next to the one that exists at the moment. Yeah. Message retracted. What was said? Give me 1 second, Corey. I'll ask a question. No, it doesn't flip my breaker. The DDM, no, it can't. It can't flip your breaker because it's built specifically to throttle itself if it does get above a specific. And what I've noticed on mine, it's about 14.3 amps on the 15 amp side and 19.1 amps on the 20 amp side. It's right when it decides, okay, we're throttling you back. So no matter what nozzle you use, no matter what you do, it won't overamp. Yeah, every ad I see on YouTube is Jamie. It used to be can the goat tail hold 2 gallons of water? And then the TRC ones where what does he say? Talks about ceramic coating not being about years, or it needs to be about age or something. And then like the video of Anthony putting rinseless wash on a car and then, you know, draping a towel across. Like, it's all I see. Yeah. Is that QLayer Mobile Works? Yeah. Like, you just have to be consistent. If you want to go on YouTube and do long form YouTube, I don't know the shorts game. I don't do shorts. Probably will never do shorts. And I won't ever do TikTok. I don't have TikTok. But the long form, you have to be consistent. When you first start out, if you can't do 2 videos a week, do not start out with 2 videos in the first week. Stretch it out. Do your 1 video a week. You can bump up to 2. Pick your time. When you first start out, you won't know your audience yet. So you say Monday at noon. Keep going and then keep going. And then over time, you'll get the analytics that will tell you when your audience is most online and you want to post just before that. So you have a long stretch of like duration of when your audience is most online, and then stay at that time and don't miss. Film ahead, edit what you can. Don't stretch yourself and don't burn yourself out. If you can go to 2 videos a week, go to 2 videos a week. But if you do it, spread them out. And once you start, you got to maintain it. You can't drop it. You can't go on a 2-week hiatus and then come back. It completely ruins your algorithm. You see it all the time. There's million subscriber channels only get 10,000 views. There's 100,000 subscriber channels that were getting 20, 30,000 views. They go on a 1-month break, they come back and they struggle to get a couple thousand views. You get lost in the algorithm. Ethos ads are horrible. They are the worst ads. And I told him that. I said, Tim, these are horrible ads. Horrible. Oh my gosh, they're the worst. That's like nobody's even looking at them. I think he told me, I guess he pays, I don't know if he pays a company or whatever, but they subcontracted out to a bunch of people. So tons of entries, and they kind of pick and choose which ones go. And obviously whichever ones do the most traction are the ones they keep. And then the ones that don't, they take off. But the ones that keep the traction are the most worst ones. And I don't know if it's because grandma's watching on her Facebook and doesn't know any better, but they're horrible. All out favorite pressure washer from 90 to 150. Greenworks Automotive when it's on sale. And I think it's on sale right now for like 139. So I think it's on sale till like September at 139. I think. I'm not absolutely sure, but I think. If you want to spend a little more, you can go use CARSWITHKEAV at ARXP, and with free shipping they have, you can get an ARXP for 170. It's a little bit above, but it's a far better hose. That's a 5/16 hose. It's actually quite flexible. The gun is pretty decent, even if you like teal. If you don't like teal, don't get it because it'll hurt your eyes. I heard you had to riz up ChatGPT to get the algorithm to work for you. I barely use ChatGPT. I barely use AI for anything. The only thing I've ever used AI for is when I edit my thumbnails. When you hit background remover, when they remove the background, that's got to be some kind of AI, right? Or some kind of software that's doing that. I've asked ChatGPT for a background once or twice when I did a video with Home Depot and Lowe's. I asked him, could you make a background of Home Depot colors and Lowe's colors with the stores in the background? I've gotten that far. Outside of that, I get emails, 10 emails a day from people who wanted to do my thumbnails, wanting to edit my videos. I'm like, I do it all myself, and I want to keep it that way. Frank, if you can do the RO, do the RO. You'll thank me later. But it is a task, and it does take room to store, and you got to pump and all that. But RO into DI is by far the better way to do it, for sure. And you could just like use your straight RO water and not use DI water for the majority of it. Yeah, it's definitely the way to go. I'm working on it. I'm working on building one that I can show in a video. Giveaways, USD 40. Corey wants to give away something. What was it? It was like a Fin something. FinLab something. Finrear. Oh, he wants to give away a bottle. I'll give a bottle of he wants to give away a bottle. Is that a joke? Finrear for me for tire dressing? That's funny. But yeah, 48 states. I'll ask. I have 2 comments left to read. Emailing Cookies with Keev to apply for the live stream moderator position since SEMA cameraman is already taken. You know, Israel, I could do 2. We could do 2 camera guys and we get 2 perspectives of me walking around. Yeah, the Vavor would work, Patrick, for sure. I was just trying to tell Frank that if he was willing to do the investment, that he would save far more money in the long run by going the RO route. RO isn't for everybody, that's for sure. Some people don't mind paying, what, 300 ppm? You're probably paying, what, 50 cents a gallon, 60 cents a gallon, more or less. Versus I'm paying 10 cents a gallon. So it doesn't make sense for me to make the investment of the equipment, but I'm going to do it anyway to make a video. But once you crest 200, 250, it starts making sense that if you have the room and you don't mind doing it, because you can set it up with a float switch, the system will run when you don't need it. It could keep your storage tank full all the time. But let's go. Let's go with the question here. What is, oh, now you want to give away two things? Jeez. What is, well, that wasn't in the videos, in the live stream. What is my favorite nozzle size to use with the DDM so far? It's like Amerix 64RC there. Corey won that one. That's the bottle of Fenrir. 5.0 is my current favorite nozzle to use with this 5.0. Here we go. Like I say, that's a lot of water. I don't even know if you really saw that because the camera's tilted, but people are asking. These are the nozzles I use for testing. These are North Star nozzles from, what's the name of the place? Northern Tool. Northern Tool. Made in the USA. When you're looking, though, make sure, because sometimes they will say made in China. There's two different kinds. There's like a very like zinc plated cheapo one. And then this one. These are $15 a piece. Yeah. And I bought every size from 2 to 7 in halves. So that was expensive. But when I run PSI and GPM numbers, these nozzles are always almost dead on the number that's there compared to any other testing nozzle that I have, which is why I use them. And I have these in 25 and 40 degree. And it's a cool little handle to hang and stuff. All right, what else do we got? Oh, my phone's about to die again. I don't think the tips are full stainless, but I have yet to have them rust at all with any of the uses that I've done. The MTMs are the absolute worst. If you see it in Ryan from Fine Details video on the Rag Company stuff, I thought the nozzle he was using was the Rag Company nozzle. It wasn't. He was using his 6.0 because he was using the AR635. You see the nozzle in the video, the rust that's dribbling out of the end of that nozzle. I mean, look, these are my MTMs. Oops. Aqualine, rusted, 60 ppm water. This is the black. I got this from Car Supplies Warehouse. I don't know exactly. This is MTM Hydro. It actually rusts less than the Aqualine. Both Aqualines. Look at that. Like, that's probably has a lot to do with DI water. But this one, I used more, and it rusts less. So whatever Aqualine used, and the funny thing is I bought Aqualine because Aqualine is supposed to be food grade safe, higher quality materials, but their inner piece of that nozzle is not. Hit it with some iron remover. It's not superficial rust though. Like, so it's actually, the hole is actually changed size. I don't know. Throw it in some what's the Coach Kimmy one? That's not one of the few Coach Kimmy ones that I use. What's it called? Rapid Rust Remover. That's it. Triple R. Rapid Rust Remover. All right, Corey, you got one more giveaway, right? Did you figure out the first one? Because I have no idea what's going on here. For the same money, is in your opinion, what is better washer than this Maxflow? I don't know yet. I haven't used it enough to know. Uh, I need to wash a full car or two with it first to see, like playing with the test. I just took it out of the box like this morning. Uh, Playing with it on the panel, playing with it here, seeing the numbers, showing you the foam. That's only so much. There is a feel thing for me. Usage, sound, like up on the shelf. Might have to replace the AR630, put up on the shelf, see what it sounds like, have somebody run it down here and go in the top of the house or the kitchen and see if I can hear it. I heard the AR630 the other day and I was like, it's weird because my son was washing his car. I said that earlier and I didn't notice it, but I heard it. I was like, oh, I didn't realize you could hear it. It wasn't the sound, it was the vibration carrying through the wall. I don't know if that has to do with my shelf or what. But Corey, we got to find a question. What's a good question? Home ownership does suck, Westcat, for sure. Corey, do we need is there an email that you need to put in there or anything for these winners to reach out to you in the chat here for your giveaway? Because I don't give things away. I mean, I do, but I keep them for a single cause. I appreciate that, Patrick, for sure. I'll still get comments that I'm still making. I got a comment the other day that my rag company video was a commercial for the rag company. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I literally said that I wouldn't buy anything but the foam cannon. Oh well. What's the answer? What's the question? What soap did we use in the video on the foam? You know, X6M Ghost always wins, but guess who forgot to use who used the wrong letter? I used the wrong letter. He's got 0 ping, but he didn't use his keyboard correctly. It looks like Israel won the coding. What coding was it? Kronos? Quickly, guys, while we're in the chat, give me some suggestions of coding to put on my new car. I don't know what to use yet. I kind of wanted to break out from what I've always been using because I could ask Ivan anytime and he would just send me a coding. I get Hydrate. He'll send it right to me. But I kind of want to try other stuff. Like I said, I was going to put Immortal on my son's Civic. And I'm thinking about putting Immortal on the hood. I'm not looking for a crazy beater. I would prefer a little bit more of a sheeting action. So I'm not going for like what my car looks like in the rain and kind of looking for less water spots would be my thing. Paint serum. Everybody talks about Yum, but if I use Yum, everybody's going to tell me I'm just following a trend. Throw me something out there that isn't in a trend right now. What's out there is awesome that just nobody knows about. DPC. I mean, he's back. Have you anybody watched that Dallas Paper Correction? He's back. He's making like his old type of videos again. Like, hey, if you're doing this, do this, or no need to spend money on that. Do this. Like, I chide down. I literally have a bottle of Pan's 8-year that's been in my freezer for 2 years. I had enough to just do like half the panel. And then I put it away. The 3 years in there too, right next to it. Phoenix EOD graphene, Naziol. You know what? The funny thing, I think I have Naziol, right? Don't I? I don't know how old it is though. No, I gave that away. I had Naziol. Got it in a mystery box from Car Supplies Warehouse. New Detail Co. or Josh V's hopefully dropping soon. Yeah, Naziol 272. I had 2 bottles of that. I gave it away. Yeah, I saw that, Juice. He just filled the foam cannon up with a gold class. He's like, hey, listen, this stuff's so cheap that you can just put it straight in a foam cannon and run it, and it's still cheaper than everything else. I appreciate that, Corey. You know what? The ZR50, I think I had like the Naziol. I think I had the two different ones. I can't remember. It was one of those two that I had. What I'm thinking about is I kind of want to go with a 1 year. Um, I'm thinking I'm thinking, let me know. I might try the G Technic 1 year. I don't know. I'll have to reach. I could reach out and get it. It's not a problem. Like their headquarters is just 20 miles from here. They've always told me that I could film at their training facility, but I always thought that if I was to do that, it would feel like I'm, I don't know, feel like a sponsorship almost. Like I know if I wanted to, I could probably, they could probably help. We'll do it as a collab or something to polish the car. But I kind of want to do it myself. Yeah, that's why I'm doing the Immortal on my son's Civic, because I just feel like even after a year, like I've always had wrapped cars. And I noticed on the Telluride, even though I took care of it as much as absolutely possible, still after a year, it's like I see a swirl. I don't like it. Like it's like you still want to polish or enhance it to a certain degree and then coat it again. The 1 year kind of makes you feel like you just after a year, you just do it. You don't have to wait for it to fail. You just do it. I would say that's with any coating. Like if it's 8 years, you can use it for 1 year, right? They may be a little bit harder to take off. Others has a new spray on rinse off coating. Picked up a bottle to try on a cousin's truck. Is that the coating or is that spray? What's it called? I got it too. I think they sent it to me. That's it. Is this what you're talking about? Ceramic spray and rinse. I saw them at SEMA and they said they would send me like a care package. I'm like, listen, it's probably not going to make a video. They said, we're going to send it anyway. I'm like, okay. But I haven't used it, but that's one. I like this new foam stuff, the Quiver Whitewater and the Detail Co. ceramic foam sealant. Kind of having fun because the dwell time is so much better because I was using quick beads in a sprayer and I felt like I was having to rush myself to keep it from drying like in the sun and stuff. You can just foam it and it just dwells and it does really well on rubber. Like it makes the tires look like you have a decent kind of matte shine on it, tire shine. $700 budget for a good pressure washer. God, it's kind of like an in-betweener there. Like it steps from 500 to 900, more or less, 500 to 1,000. 700 could be this DDM, this Maxflow, because I think it's going to be about $800. There's nothing really right at 7 or 6. It's like you go from Maxflow, Active 2.3, big boy duo is closer to 600, and then you go right up to like AR630. Like I would skip the big boy 20 and go straight to AR630. So you have the Active 3.0 at around 900. The foaming is the thing, but this DDM at about 800, I think 800ish. I don't know if it's 800 or 900. I don't know yet, but that could be it. Immortal was good. Phobic, Katiba, Pan, CCI, Luminous, Nexon. Jeez, it's so hard to make a decision. And it doesn't matter what I do. No matter which one I choose, somebody's going to think that I'm just a paid actor from Thor or something. I mean, I kind of want to just try something like off the radar. That's what I would like to, which I think, because years ago when I first got started, G Technic was good stuff. They sponsored my car when I was doing car shows before I really ever got into car washing, car detailing. I just feel like their stuff hadn't updated over the years and didn't improve with the market or improve with, because I think they're a little slow to market with stuff. I think they're supposed to have like a sugar-based Bill Hamber, competitor. I saw that at MTE. They were talking about it. I don't know if it's been released yet. But I always liked them. Nice guys over there. But I just feel like something like that, I think maybe would be like something that, is not Thor. to try out, since I'm already going to be using Immortal on my son's car. My Impro Gen 1, almost brand new, probably used 3 to 4 times, started tripping the built-in power. That's, yeah. GFCI is a known issue with Maxflow. I myself have never gotten a Maxflow to fail, but Colton at Out of Spec Detailing has had problems at his shop. He went to his house, worked perfect. There is specific GFCIs. Now, I don't know if this new one has the problem or not, but there are specific GFCIs because they sent him a unit for review. It tripped his breaker. They sent him another one with a firmware update. I think it was actually a little bit worse. I gotta say, I might have to return it to Maxflow because there are specific GFCIs that it doesn't work with. Maxflow does do discount code. Code CARSWITHKEAV will save you 15%. No, it used to be 15. Now it's 10. Now it's 10. It used to be 15. I negotiated for 15, took less commission on my side, but they have a big government thing called GovX. I think they do a discount code, and they did not want anybody else's discount code to be the same. So I had to go down to 10% from 15, which is still a good discount, but CARSWITHKEAV saves 10%. You know, that's a good thing to test. I'll try to I don't know how I'm going to be able to test that, but I'm using a hose, so I'll be able to see the kickback on the reel. Shoot, here, fold it down. This live is lasting a lot longer than I thought it would. But you could tell if you talk about line pressure, when you click off the pressure washer, if you see this reel shake, then there is a lot of pressure going back through this hose. If you use a 50-foot hose like this, especially a flexible hose, well, why am I pointing this one? A flexible hose like a Flexilla is going to absorb the back feed before it reaches the line. So if you're at the spigot of your house and you have a 3-foot line going from your house to your pressure washer, that backflow has nowhere to go, nowhere to be absorbed on its way back. So if this thing shakes, then there's line pressure. Not much at all. A little shake. I think that's really the outside of putting an inline gauge, seeing what back pressure. So if you have a system like that and you have back pressure, a backflow preventer will help for sure. A vacuum breaker, something like that, that, you know, when it hits a certain pressure, the water's going to spatter out. A lot of houses already have that installed. But yeah, line pressure. And that's pretty good because you'll see like a Ryobi or a Greenworks will shake that reel with the line pressure. But like I said, if you're using a 50-foot hose like this, it's going to absorb it before it really gets back. But too much backfeed pressure can be bad because it feeds this water back into your house. And then also, if you're running a system, because I know there's some people who run that new CR Spotless with the bypass, it's popped their fittings on a 2.0 because a 2.3 has a good bit of back pressure. It backflows through, and if it's a short distance, it blew off their CR Spotless, and then they put a backflow preventer before the CR Spotless, and then it blew their PEX pipe. So there's definitely back pressure should be more of a concern that I should probably think about in videos. Thanks for a suggestion. Maybe that's something we're going to add to the mix somehow to see what it does. But yeah, a Flexilla hose will absorb the majority of that if it's a good length. And I have lost my chat. Okay. Like we should have ended this like an hour ago. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, right. If you have a pump, if you're in a mobile setup and you're pumping from a tank, you definitely need a backflow preventer between your pressure washer and your pump. For sure needed. Disappointed with support with the Maxflow? We need, yeah, it's hard to keep track of that because I get stuck. I get flack a lot for, hey, it failed on me. You should do more rigorous testing and this and that. I'm like, listen, I've had people tell me their AR630 broke. What am I supposed to do? Like, I understand that some stuff that I review it instantly. I'm not going to use it all the time because I don't have a high volume business here. I can't use it constantly. I have my favorites. I want to use my favorites for my washing. I want to have fun. And something may break. I don't know what they did. I don't know what chemical they used. I don't know how they stored it. I don't know these things. I know with DI systems, a lot of people think, well, I try to warn in the videos, check your PPM, because they get mad and they say, well, it only lasted this long and I never got 0 PPM. And I'm like, what quality is your water? Like, these are things to know before you invest in something like that. Pressure washers too. Like, you see, everybody loves the Ryobi Automotive. Everybody loves the Greenworks Automotive, but I'll get a few. They'll be like, Ryobi sucks and you shouldn't be making videos on them. I'm like, wow, card collector, that sucks if you had to reach it on 5 different platforms before getting one response. Yeah. And the thing is, here's what sucks. A lot of times when I buy products, I won't buy it under my, I won't put CARSWITHKEAV on there or anything. But even I did that with the RXP, and the president of AR saw my order go through the system and then reached out to me after I had already bought it, to get that discount code for Josh and myself. Because obviously they want you to buy it through their site. They make more overhead on their site rather than selling it through Walmart or Home Depot. They're going to make more back than the 10% or 10% discount they gave you and the 10% or so commission they're paying us on the other end, right? Some places it's 5%, some places it's 10%. It's more or less how it's working. So you think about it, they're 15 to 20% off the board when a discount code is being used. And that's all, most of that's marketing budget. It's where most of that money comes from. So some people will go the creator route with that versus paying for commercials, right? They'll just use the marketing budget for an affiliate program versus using it for commercials. Backflow issues with Ryobi Automotive. Yeah, it's got it. I don't think I ever saw problems with like the 1800 Ryobi. So maybe possibly the difference in the pump to run higher flow and the fact that it's running at a much higher amperage and stuff, and probably a different pressure switch. I'm not sure. The only thing I know is the best thing you can do is a back preventer, vacuum breaker, depending on your system, a hammer, what do they call it? A hammer or something. But right at your spigot, you could put a vacuum breaker, backflow preventer, and when it comes back towards the house and does more than expected, it'll just, I guess, it kind of sprays out or releases right there at that edge, or get you a flexible hose, a longer flexible hose to kind of help absorb that back pressure. This is it. This is good that came out of all this. Water hammer, that's correct. Good. Because these are things that we could add to the testing for sure. Correct. 20% off. I mean, like Adams' entire website's on sale for 20 to 25% off the entire time. Like it's a marketing technique to have your prices higher and then constantly have everything on sale. And that's the way they do it, because they really don't have like an affiliate program, quite like Clean Garage does the same thing. They don't have like an affiliate program, unlike others do. And that's, you run a business any way you want. That's like wherever you're saving that money to give, because Clean Garage has really good prices a lot of times. I did not get over 3 GPM because I'm running a 1/4-inch hose, and I'm not going to flip it around right now. You guys are going to make me flip this around to a 3-inch hose before this is over with. Tracking of the OG soap. That's funny. Lucid. All right. You guys wanted to know. So 6.0 nozzle is what it comes with. Wow, this is longer than that. The good thing is I don't have a video to edit tonight. I'll edit tomorrow for Thursday. I like to edit the day before, so I'm up on any info update that needs to be done for a video. I don't like to be edited too far out. And then like, you know, export it and then have it saved and have to go back and change it and everything. I like to just kill it out the night before. I may film a long period ahead, but we're in 20 amp. That's like 275 at 18. Was I at full? No, I wasn't. See, this dial's pissing me off. Just don't touch the dial. I got a feeling it like it vibrates itself lower. Let's try that again. Yeah, that's better. So that's 2.81 GPM, 19 amps. Let's switch to a 3/8 hose. You guys are lucky that I literally have my Blue Shield set up for testing right away. And push locks for the win. Some dummy quilled this up. I don't know who would have done that. Not me. All right. Oh, I don't have a push lock here. What am I doing? Water in. Let's see the difference. We had 2 GPM off. 3. Yeah. Our ceiling has risen a lot. So 15 amp. All right. 15 amp. So that's 14.3 amps at 2.64 gallons per minute. I don't know why I wasn't doing pressure. It's about 780. So on a 15 amp circuit, 780 PSI at 2.64 gallons per minute. All right. I don't know why I keep taking that off. 20 amp. You see it? Did it again. That's 2.95 at 917 PSI. 7.0 nozzle. .09 at 750, 18.5 amps. So you guys got what you wanted. You got your 3/8 hose numbers. Juice on a 25 degree, it for sure would. For sure. Because 1,000 PSI on a 40 degree is like the same as 800 PSI on a 25 degree from an impact rate, from an impact standpoint. Clark, on the IK nozzles, outside of just changing the fan pattern, there's nothing different. It just changes fan pattern. That's it. Dan passes out OG to everyone. You get 1 ounce. You get 1 ounce. You know, that's the I don't know if many of you are into lawn stuff, but chemicals in the lawn care industry are far more expensive than soap. I'll tell you, far more expensive. Like, wow, like a little vial of powder is like 200 bucks. And that it does carry you a certain way. You're only using like a couple grams at a time. There are pre-emergents that cost $1,000 for a gallon. It's very expensive. So what guys will do is they'll get together in the forums and on the Facebook groups, and somebody will fork out the money to get the big bottle, and they'll buy little vials and they'll give everybody vials, which is enough to do 1 or 2 applications in the vial to help pay for that massive $1,000 gallon of product. How do I feel now? I feel pretty good. The 3.09 gallons per minute. I mean, that's about the percentage. It says it's a 3.3 gallon per minute machine. Their 2.5 does 2.3 for me, which is fine because my voltage is not maxed out. It's a certain amount, and that's fine. Water temperature, inlet pressure, all these things matter. And I mean, 3.09 on a 3.3 machine is it's not bad. 1500 psi. I don't think I'm ever going to get the 1500 psi, but we'll check it in the video of nozzles. I'm done testing now. Yeah, dude, that sucks on your experience there with the Maxflow. They definitely should be getting back to you sooner for sure. I don't know if they've grown a lot and their customer service team is not growing with it. That happened to Big Boy. Like the initial hit was too much for them from a customer service standpoint. It took them forever to get caught up. All right, guys, I'm trying to get through here. Me and my buddy split fungicide every few years. Yep. Yep. Edible clear. I don't know what that means. I kind of like lives. The thing is I'm giving away information and you don't have to watch the video now. So just please, just let me know the 100 people in here. Just watch the video. And if you want to buy one, code CARSWITHKEAV, you save you 10%. I'm not telling you to buy one. I'm not saying that my verdict is out on this yet. And it's still going to be probably a month before this thing releases. It's being pushed back. It's like the Quiver pressure washer. It just keeps getting pushed back. Like there's so much that's involved logistically that you get a promise date, it's never going to be that date. Yeah, it's going to be hard for me to let go of my 630 V2. It would be for sure. I put it CARSWITHKEAV in the price. That's because there's a special discount code for Juice. It makes Juice pay more. All right, guys. I think that's it for my first live. I think we're like, what, we are 2.5 hours? Holy crap. Holy crap. There you go, guys. I appreciate it. I'm going to end it here. I'm going to go play Clash of Clans for a little bit. If anybody doesn't know that that's what this channel used to be about 12 years ago. It was a Clash of Clans gaming channel, believe it or not. And then I took a 5-year hiatus, got the car I liked, started detailing, started making videos again. So actually there's like hundreds of Clash of Clans videos that are sitting in private. All right, we're going to end this. See you later.